Welcome back to Threshold City. This is Shadows of the Night by Raven Knight. Chapter 8, Load Bearing. I didn't leave the archive room right away. The uniforms did. CSU did. Even Jessie drifted toward the perimeter after a while, giving me space without saying she was doing it. Liam stayed. Of course he did. The body had been bagged, but the 7 metal fragments were still embedded in the floor. Evidence tech was arguing about how to remove them without contaminating trace. They weren't asking the right question. They weren't asking whether removing them was the trigger. I stood in the center of the ring again, not touching, just feeling. The pressure was gone, but something lingered. Not hum, not thread. A faint structural awareness. Like the building had just been weighed and found acceptable. "You're doing that thing again," Liam said. "What thing?" "Staring like the walls are talking." "They're not talking." "What are they doing?" "Settling." He rubbed the back of his neck. "You're going to need to start translating for normal people." I glanced at him. They didn't activate the ring. "Yeah, I noticed the lack of apocalypse." "They could have." "Comforting." "They chose not to." "That's less comforting." He had a point. I crouched near one of the metal slivers. Up close, it looked almost organic. Matte surface. No machining marks. Too clean to be industrial. "Don't touch it," Liam said automatically. "I'm not." "You said that last time." "And I didn't." He let that go. "They placed 7, he said. "You said 7 stabilizes something." "Yes, and they didn't use it." "No." "Why?" I straightened slowly. "Because this wasn't about opening." He waited. "It was about capacity," I finished. His eyes narrowed. "Capacity for what?" "For me." He went still. "Explain." "They're increasing load gradually," I said. "First alley, localized breach. Second street, proximity adjustment. Now, distributed pressure." "And you didn't respond." I responded. "You stood there." "That's response." He studied me. "You're saying they're conditioning you?" "Yes." "For what?" I didn't answer, because the answer was still forming. Jessie approached, gloves off now, hands shoved into her hoodie pockets. "They're ready to pull the fragments," she said. "You want to object?" "Yes." She arched an eyebrow. "Legally," she clarified. "Yes." Liam looked between us. "You think removing them triggers something?" "I think we don't know enough to start pulling structural pins." He exhaled slowly. "I can stall," he said. "For a few hours. That's enough." "For what?" "To see if they react to non-removal." He stared at me. "You're going to bait them with inaction." "Yes." "That's reckless." "No," I said calmly. "It's consistent." He didn't like that answer either. Good. He stepped away to make calls. Jessie leaned closer. "You look worse," she said quietly. "I feel worse." "How much worse?" My left hand's mostly numb. She didn't react dramatically, just absorbed it. "That's not temporary," she said. "I know. You going to stop?" "No." She studied my face for a long second. "You're not being heroic," she said. "I'm being necessary." She nodded once. Same difference, usually. By late afternoon, the archive building felt watched. Not actively, just noted. CSU had carefully removed 3 of the 7 fragments and placed them in evidence bags. Nothing happened. No hum. No pressure. Just air. Liam came back over. "They're pulling the rest," he said. I nodded. "Still nothing," he added. "Yes." "That bothers you?" Yes. Why? Because it means the fragments aren't independent. They're connected. Yes. To what? Something bigger. He stared at me for a moment. You keep saying that. Because it keeps being true. The last fragment came free from the floor, for half a second. I felt it, a distant tug, not here, elsewhere, like something recalibrating. Then silence. I closed my eyes briefly. They logged that, I said. Logged what? The removal. You felt that? Yes. He ran a hand through his hair. I'm going to need a flow chart. You wouldn't like it. Try me. I looked at the empty ring on the floor. At some point, I said slowly, they're going to build the full structure. And I won't be able to ignore it. He folded his arms. So tonight was just a rehearsal. Yes. For who? For me. The weight of that settled. He didn't joke, didn't argue, just stood with it. Let's assume worst case, he said finally. They complete the structure. They activate it. What happens? I met his gaze. It depends. On whether I'm inside it. His expression went flat. And if you are, I hold. And if you can't. I didn't answer, because that wasn't a useful branch yet. We left the archive as the sun dipped behind buildings. The city looked normal. Traffic, people, glass and steel catching light. Nothing about it suggested that someone was measuring its structural tolerance through murder. Liam walked beside me to the sidewalk. You're not going home alone, he said. I was. You're not. I stopped walking. He stopped too. I don't need a guard. You need a witness. That's not the same. No, he agreed. It's not. I studied him. You're not scared, I said. He held my gaze. I am, he said simply. The honesty landed heavier than bravado would have. Good, I replied. He blinked. Good. Fear keeps you observant. And what keeps you alive? Restraint. He almost smiled. Come on, he said. Let's get you home. My apartment felt smaller that night. Not unsafe, just mapped. I didn't sit at the kitchen table. Liam noticed. You avoiding it? He said. No. Yes. I'm adjusting. He walked over and crouched under the table. Don't, I said sharply. He paused. Why? It's keyed to me. He looked back at me. Meaning, it won't activate for you. That's comforting. It shouldn't be. He studied the carving. It's tiny, he said. Yes. And you think this is part of something that can scale citywide? Yes. He stood slowly. You ever consider, he said carefully, that this isn't about the city? I tilted my head. Then what? It's about you surviving something. The words hung in the air. Not accusation, not theory, just observation. I didn't answer immediately, because part of me had already reached that conclusion. They're building tolerance, I said quietly. For what? He pressed. I met his eyes. For a load I haven't seen yet. Silence. The apartment creaked softly as the building settled. My phone buzzed on the counter. Unknown number. Liam's gaze snapped to it. You going to answer? Yes. I picked it up. Hello? Static. Then a voice. Calm. Male. Low. Not distorted. Not theatrical. Just present. You adjusted faster than projected. Every muscle in my body went still. Liam watched my face. Didn't speak. You're measuring wrong, I said evenly. A soft exhale on the other end. Not laughter, Acknowledgement. We're measuring correctly, the voice replied. You're stabilizing above expected thresholds. Liam's jaw tightened. He mouthed, "Who is that?" I didn't look at him. You're killing people to build a chart, I said. Correction, the voice said gently. We're building capacity. We? Yes. The word slid cold down my spine. You're done tonight, I said. Tonight, he agreed, and tomorrow. A pause. Then, tomorrow will depend on your response. The line went dead. I lowered the phone slowly. Liam stepped closer. Tell me that wasn't who I think it was. You don't know who you think it was, I said. Then tell me. I looked at the spiral under the table, at the precision, at the patience. They've stopped observing from a distance, I said quietly. And they've decided I'm a known variable. Silence settled in the room. Not loud, not dramatic, just heavy. Liam watched me. What does that mean? He asked. I met his eyes. It means the testing phase is almost over. End of chapter 8. The investigation continues in the next chapter. Thanks for listening.